I think there's two issues there. So we know that governments subsidise meat and dairy. Our UK government spend, millions, if not billions, subsidising the meat and dairy industry. And so some meat, certainly those the 85% that come from factory farming it is relatively cheap compared to the costs of production and the negative impacts on health and the environment. So we're not paying the actual price of that. And as we know, farmers in the UK are struggling to earn a good living, and they certainly wouldn't earn anything if they did not receive government subsidies. But those subsidies are not there for arable farming or crop farming. So there's that disparity before you get there. But actually, there's been a very large global study looking at world food prices back in 2021 by Marco Springman, looking at the cost of different types of diets. And in high-income countries, when you're centering your diet around fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts and seeds, so minimally processed plant-based diet, it is about a third cheaper than the typical current omnivorous diet. And just to mention, I agree, we're omnivores. We can eat foods from different food groups, absolutely. So we have a choice, and the choice we have to make at the moment is to shift away from an animal heavy diet in order to meet our climate and nature goals, because to the point that another person made about natural local is more normal than eating ultra processed vegan food. I mean, I didn't mention the term ultra processed vegan food, but there's many ultra processed foods. It's not a problem specific to people eating a plant-based diet. And the current British diet is very ultra processed, and 99% of people are not following a vegan diet. So if you go back to minimally processed, healthy whole foods, it'll always be the case that the environmental impact is lower when you're choosing plant-based foods, regardless of production and travel. If you think about it, for beef, even if you buy beef from a cow that lives in the field next door, 90% or more of the environmental impacts come from on farm. It's not to do with the transport. It's less than 10%. And for most foods, it's less than 1% transport costs. Most foods are shipped, and that's pretty low environmental impact. Yeah, it would be great if we could all get our fruits and vegetables locally. But as I've already said, 1% of the land in the UK is dedicated to growing vegetables. So we're not suddenly going to be able to buy all our vegetables locally. So until the system or the government support people to be growing, or farmers to be growing fruits and vegetables instead of meat and dairy.